Hey guys, it's Miss Delcambre. Today's August 31st, and I'm just going to go over a quick review of today's lessons. You'll need your journal, glue, you'll need 3.3 notes, which is on division of fractions, scissors, highlighter, and a pencil. We're going to do a week overview of what the week's going to look like. We're going into our notes. The video is uploaded to the Google Classroom. And then any questions that you may have, you may message me. So quick review of the week. Right over here, we're going to be going over dividing fractions today. Tomorrow, we're dividing mixed numbers. Wednesday, we're going to do a review on fractions and decimals, multiplying and dividing them. You'll be given your study guide on Wednesday. Thursday, we'll do our review on module 3 and 4. You'll study and you'll have your test on Friday, and it will be an Eduphoria test, and you will have to go through your portal to access that. Okay? Let me just go back here. So that was this week's overview and our notes. So wrong thing I'm going to right now. 1 second. There we go. All right, so I kind of went ahead. This is my second video for today. So today we're going to go over dividing fractions. You'll need to cut it into 3 sections, 1, 2, and then 3. You'll put those 2 word problems that you have on the back on 1 page, and then you're going to be splitting up into 2 sections these parts. Okay, so reciprocals is another way to divide fractions is using reciprocals. 2 numbers whose product is 1 are called reciprocals. So like 3/4, so 3/4 times 4/3 is, well, 3 times 4 is 12, 4 times 3 is 12, so that's 12 over 12, which is equal to 1. So 3/4 and 4/3 are both reciprocals. So to find the reciprocal of a fraction, flip, however you want to say it, the numerator and the denominator. So I have my numerator and denominator. Denominator moves to the top, numerator moves to the bottom. So think of the fraction doing a handstand. So everything now is flipped. So we have 7/8. If we flipped it, we would get 8/7. You have 9. Well, 9 has fractions 9 over 1, so it flips to 1/9. And if you have 1/11, when we flip it, it becomes 11 over 1, or 11. So my example here is like 7/8 times 8/7. I get 56 over 56, which reduces to 1. So 7/8 and 8/7 are both, they're reciprocal. They're reciprocals of each other. Okay, the video that you will watch on vocabulary will talk about dividing fractions, keep, change, flip, which means to multiply by the reciprocal. So I want you to write that down, multiply by the reciprocal. This is important because that keep, change, flip, yes, that works, but you may get it confused with keep, change, change, and you don't want to get those two mixed up. So you want to make sure multiply by the reciprocal. And it says it right here. So dividing by a fraction is equivalent to multiplying by its reciprocal. So to divide by a fraction, you multiply by its reciprocal. Here's our example. So what I'm going to do, just move this out of my way because I need some more room here. We have 9/10 divided by 2/5. So I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite it down here. So 9/10 divided by 2/5. So I'm going to keep multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to keep the first the same, 9/10, multiply, and then I'm going to flip it. It's reciprocal to 5 over 2. Now I'm going to show you 2 ways that you can do this. So I'm going to continue out. So that would be 9 times 5 over 10 times 2, which gives me 45 over 20. And 20 can go into 45 2 times. So 20 times 2 gives me 40. 45 minus 40 gives me 5 over 20. And if I simplify that, I get 2 and 1/5. I'm sorry, 2 and 1/4. 2 and 1/4. That's if I multiplied and then simplified. But what if I came back and said, oh, well, let me simplify before I multiply and see if that will work. So if I'm looking, well, 9 and 2 can't be simplified, but 5 and 10 can. 5 can go into 5 one time, and 5 can go into 10 2 times. So then I'm left with 9 times 1 over 2 times 2, which gives me 9 over 4. How many times can 4 go into 9? Well, twice, because 4 times 2 is 8. So 9 minus 8 gives me 1. And then I still keep my denominator as a 4th. So do you see how both of my answers, I did them 2 ways. One, I multiplied then simplified. The other, I simplified then multiplied. I both got the same exact answer each time. Got 2 and 1/4. 2 and 1/4. Just going to draw a little line right here, and let's look at our next one. Again, we have 9/10 and divided by 3/5. So I'm going to take my first fraction, I'm going to keep it the same. I'm going to change division into multiply, and then I'm going to, the reciprocal of 3/5 is 5/3. So if I'm looking here, and I'm going to simplify first before I multiply, well, 5 can go into 5 one time, and 5 can go into 10 2 times. 3 and 9, 3 can go into 3 one time, 3 can go into 9 3 times. So then I'm left with 3 times 1 over 2 times 1, which gives me 3/2. And how many times can 2 go into 3? Well, that would be 1 time with 1/2 remaining. So I get 1 and 1/2 as my answer. Now, if I multiplied before I simplified, same thing happens, setting it up the same way, and I get 45 over 30. Okay, how many times can 30 go into 45? Well, 1 time gives me 30. 45 minus 30 gives me 15. And I'm left with 30 as my denominator. So 1 and 15 over 30. Well, if you know half of 30 is 15, this reduces to 1 and 1/2. 1 and 1/2. I'm getting the exact same answer each and every time I do it, but I'm either multiplying first and then simplifying, or simplifying first and then multiplying. It's just whichever one works best with you. So my last one, number 1 second. Okay. Let me go back. All right, so here we are, our last 2 questions. So Allison has a 1/2 cup of yogurt to make making fruit parfaits. Each parfait requires 1/8 cup of yogurt. How many parfaits can she make? Okay, so we're looking at how many parfaits can she get out of that 1/2 of a cup. All right, we're looking for some key terms in here. So that 1/2 cup of yogurt is what she's starting with, but she needs each one to have 1/8 cup. So when we set it up, we're dividing this 1/2 into 1/8 sections. So if we're going to divide our fractions, we keep the first one, change from division to multiply, and then we flip multiply by its reciprocal. And again, we'll do it 2 ways. So 1 times 8 gives me 8. 2 times 1 gives me 2. I have an improper fraction, so how many times can 2 go into 8? Well, 4 times, because 2 times 4 gives me 8. So my answer would be 4. Now, if we simplified before we multiplied, 2 can go into 2 1 time, and 2 can go into 8 4 times. So then we have 1 times 4 over 1 times 1, which still gives me an answer of 4. So Allison can make 4 parfaits. I'm going to write this right down here. Allison can make 4 parfaits. All right, my last question here. Jackson wants to divide a 3/4 pound box of trail mix into small bags. Each bag will hold 1/12 pound of trail mix. How many bags can he fill? So we're trying to figure out how many bags is he going to make out of that box. So we know that he has 1 3/4 pound box of trail mix, and he's breaking them into small bags. So he's pouring them into 1/12 pound bags. So with division, it's very important of what number you're dividing up. Well, we're dividing this 3/4 up. So that's 3/4 divided by 1/12. Guys, and if you look and go, oh, let me simplify first. Don't do that. Simplify after you change it. So after we change it, we get 3/4 times 12 over 1. Now simplify. Because here, if you simplified, it would be that 3 and 4. That 3 and 12, when it should be that 4 and 12. So 4 can go into 4 1 time, and 4 can go into 12 3 times. So then I'm left with 3 times 3 over 1 times 1. And 3 times 3 gives me 9 over 1. So I would have 9 baggies of trail mix. If I did it the other way, we have 3/4 times 12 over 1. 3 times 12 gives me 36. 4 times 1 gives me 4. 4 can go into 36 9 times. So Jackson would have 9 bags of trail mix. Right? Just remember, you need to simplify one way or another, but we get the same answer either way. I'm going to minimize this. The video that you will be watching is under your class work, and it's under videos showed in class. And if you cannot find it, if you go to your Lumberton SSO, log in with Flocabulary underneath your Google Classroom, and type in dividing fractions. It's this exact same video. All right. Your homework tonight is 3.3, dividing fractions. Make sure that you either use Kami, to use it and upload your answers. You can print it out, or you can do it on notebook paper. Either way will work. All right. Have a good day. See you tomorrow.